Hey guys, Richard Scanlon from Remount Horsemanship. I'm here with my horse Tristan. Horse I haven't trained for a while. He's the one that likes to bolt, whether he's online or under saddle. And in a previous video, I showed you how you could run your 22-foot line over your halter, so it kind of adds a little bit more of an assertive grip on their nose if they try to bolt from you. Another thing that I do, and that I did with him when I played online with him to kind of curb that bolting, was if that rope becomes ineffective, you can take your McCarty setup and you can shorten your reins up by pulling them through your slobber straps. Don't have to untie anything, just loosen it up so that your lead line, about 15-18 foot long, you have a little itty bitty rein up here. And I like to take my throat latch undo my throat latch, and then run that little bit of rein underneath my throat latch. That way, when I'm playing with them online, the reins aren't flopping, they're not going to get stepped on, and I have a longer lead line out here. And that way, if he goes to bolt away from me, well then I have the bit to help him yield from that pressure and come back towards me instead of wanting to be away from me all the time. Adds a little bit higher degree of assertiveness so that he can understand how to yield from pressure. So we did that yesterday online, did a bunch of obstacles, and he seemed to do really well with it. I was happy with it. So today's going to be the first day that I ride him. He's been rode before, not by me. He's been rode before by other people. And those are the ones who he's bolted with and bucked with and stuff like that. So I warmed him up a little bit online already. So now we'll ride him. I'm going to ride him today with a flag. And I'll kind of explain that once I'm on top. When you get on a horse with a flag, ask him to stand still here, back up just a little bit, put his feet back where they were, there he goes. When you're getting on a horse with a flag, you want to keep that flag on your side. You don't want to throw it on the off side and step over, you want to keep it on your side. Like I said, this horse has been rode before, just not rode by me. So I'll check him out like any other horse. Toe in, handle that, step up, pat him, pick up a rein, stop that drift, get my other stirrup. Once I'm up here, then I can get my reins and my McCarty all set up. Just tuck this under my leg for now. Make sure I have some lateral flexion. Slide my hand down. Wait for him to bend. Good. Slide down the other rein. So he's moving off already, so I'll just hold that rein until he flexes, keeps his feet still. I'll let him go out halfway, bring him back in. Let him go out halfway. I'll wait. Bring him back in. Try to keep if he's pulling on this pressure, I try to be like a fence post. Try not to pull, I just try to hold so he's fighting against that bit on his own. And then when he yields towards me, then he gets a nice release from that rein pressure. A lot of times, that's one reason why I'm riding with a flag. A lot of times people think if they can just bend that horse's neck, that horse will stop. Well, that's not always the case. I've had horses that their nose is about back to my knee, and they're still running off on me because the message hasn't gotten down to their feet. So you kind of got their mind and their flexion, but you haven't got their feet. Number one thing with a bolting horse is they'll flex their necks, but they won't move their feet. So here, my hands kind of up and back, and what I'm waiting for is for that right front foot to kind of step inside that circle, like that. And I'll just pick up on it, ask him to stop. So more than just having that flexion in the neck, I want him to get feeling down to his feet. So here I walk in a circle, and I just want to be able to pick up that left front, left front, left front, left front. Just kind of make that circle smaller until he kind of stops. Left, left. So I just made that circle smaller until he stopped because I'm trying to connect the reins down to the feet. See what kind of backup I have on him? In backup, I like to shift my weight forward a hair. Every step back he takes, he'll get a little bit of a release. He starts rooting like that, then I'm just going to hold. And even though I'm getting the backup, I don't have softness. So when he gets soft in the bridle or in the snaffle, then he'll get a release. So he's backing up halfway decent, but he's sure dragging on those reins. Pretty soon here, there. I got about 2 steps and some nice softness in there. So I wasn't rewarding just the backup, I was starting to reward and wait for the softness in my hands. The reason I have a flag today is because if a horse bolts and is in a habit of bolting, I guarantee you someone's pulling on the rein to the right or the left, but say I'm pulling on the rein to the right and he's pulling to the left. So I'm saying no, go right, he's saying no, I think I'll go to the left. It's much more effective to push a horse than it is to pull a horse. So that's where the flag comes in. So I can put a little bit of pressure pulling, and then I can push him with my left leg and this flag to say I want your nose in the direction of travel, but I also want your feet in the direction of travel. So a little bit of left rein here, a little bit more right leg, and then I can push him with that flag. See, there's kind of a drape in my left rein, and he's mainly turning off of my right leg and my flag. There, and I'll pick up. I don't like to pull back to stop, I'll pick up. Quit riding in my body, then I'll pick up on that rein, and then I'll bend him if I have to. So I kind of have some direction with the front end. So now I'd sure like to see if I could ask him to maybe break at that pull a tad and give me them hind feet. He's kind of rooting at that bit, so I'll just kind of keep turning his hind end here until he gets soft in my hand. And then once he does, then I give him that release. Now I'm going to yield his hips to the right, and I'd like this front right to kind of stay put. So I'm going to weight that right front, slide my right leg back, and see if I can't get him to do just like that. And then once he gets just a tad bit softer in that snaffle, like that, then I give him the release. So those are some things that I always look for. I don't look just for the flexions, I look for the weight, I look for the feeling going down the rein to go through his mind, through his body, and down to his feet. So that's where it's most important. I'm wearing spurs today. All of my riding, generally whenever I ride a horse, I'll have spurs on, just so that I can have that extra assertiveness, cause the horse to yield from my pressure. Yielding is not an option. When you're riding, yielding is not an option. They have to yield for you. A lot of people have bad connotations about spurs because a lot of people use spurs wrong. But it's still a lot of people that are against spurs. Boy, they sure like to use a horseman's flag or a horseman's stick to get after a horse to be effective. But they don't want to use spurs. One, they're scared of them, they don't know how to use them. And they don't understand that all it is an extension of my foot, and it can just add more effective pressure in a narrower area. so that that horse will yield. That's all it is. Spurs are for lateral movements, they're not for going forward. So that's why I'm wearing them today, so that if I'm turning left and he wants to go right, and he's blowing through my leg, maybe blowing through my flag, then I can activate my spurs and cause him to get off my leg. And before you start riding in spurs, you ought to get to know where your spurs are, so you know when your spurs are on a horse and when they're off a horse. So here I'm not going anywhere in particular. I'm just feeling them out.